Once upon a time in a small African village called Oluyole, there lived a lady named Simisola. Simisola was born into a loving family of 5, with 3 sisters who, like her, were slim and graceful in their early years. As children, Simi and her sisters played under the sun, danced to the beat of the drums, and dreamed of one day finding husbands who would love them as they were. They were a close-knit family, sharing everything from their hopes and dreams to their laughters and tears. However, as Simi grew into puberty, her body began to change in ways that were different from her sisters and the ladies in her village. While they maintained their slender figures, Simi experienced hormonal imbalances that caused her to gain a significant amount of weight. Her stomach grew noticeably large, setting her apart from her sisters and the other ladies in the village, who boasted tiny waists and flat bellies. This made Simisola stood out and became the subject of whispered conversations and mocking laughter. Simisola was unlike any other woman in Oluyole. While the other women of the village boasted slender, shapely figures, Simi was extraordinarily fat. Her large frame and generous curves made her the target of endless ridicule and body shaming. Despite her kind heart and gentle nature, the villagers only saw her as the fat lady who did not fit their ideal of beauty. The teasing began in her teenage years. Boys would mock her, calling her names and making rude jokes at her expense. Girls would snicker behind her, whispering that she would never find a husband. The adults were no better. They would shake their heads in disapproval, wondering why she wouldn't be more like her peers. They would call her names like Fatty Bom Bom, Orobo, Old Mama, Big Mommy, Old Woman, Big Belle, Chubby Pig. Simi tried to ignore the touts, but they cut deep. She would often cry herself to sleep, wishing she could be different, wishing she could be accepted. Her parents, loving but powerless against the cruelty of the villagers, tried to comfort her. Simi, you are beautiful in your own way, her mother would say. One day they will see your true worth. Years passed and Simi grew into a woman, but the ridicule did not cease. She became known as Mama Simi, a title that did little to soften the blows of the harsh words. She found solace in her garden, where she grew the most beautiful flowers and the juiciest fruits. The villagers might mock her, but they couldn't deny the bounty of her harvest. She would sit under a tree in her garden and say to herself, "Why is my own different? Why is everyone calling me Mama Simi? Why is no suitor asking for my hand in marriage? Will I be lonely forever?" She would cry her eyes out. One fateful day, as Simisola tended to her garden, a stranger arrived in Oluyole. He was a traveling sorcerer, known throughout the land for his powerful magic and mysterious ways. His name was Abijawara, and he came to Oluyole seeking rare herbs that only grew in the region. Abijawara noticed Simisola walking in her garden and was struck by her aura of sadness despite the beauty she cultivated around her. He approached her, his curiosity piqued. "Good day, kind woman. I am Abijawara, a sorcerer on a quest for rare herbs. Might you have any to spare?" Simi, always willing to help, nodded and offered him the herbs he sought. "Here you go, Abijawara. These are the finest herbs in my garden." Abijawara accepted the herbs and studied her closely. "I sense a heavy heart within you, Simisola. Tell me, why do you carry such sorrow?" Simi hesitated, but then poured out her heart, telling Abijawara of the years of mockery and cruelty she had endured because of her size. Abijawara listened intently, his eyes narrowing as he absorbed every word. "You have been wronged, Simisola," he said finally. "The pain you carry is not yours alone to bear. I will grant you a gift, a powerful magic that will make those who wronged you understand the depth of their cruelty." That night, under the light of a full moon, Abijawara performed a secret ritual in Simi's garden. He invoked ancient spirits and called upon the power of nature. As he chanted, a mysterious energy enveloped Simi, and she felt a strange sensation coursing through her body. The next morning, the villagers of Oluyole awoke to find that something extraordinary had happened. The men, once proud and confident, discovered they had been robbed of their manhood. They were physically unchanged, but an inexplicable weakness had taken hold of them, sapping their strength and spirit. Panic spread through the village as the men realized what had occurred. They could not perform their daily tasks, and a deep fear gripped their hearts. The women, bewildered and concerned, tried to help, but there was little they could do. Yet, something unexpected began to happen. The men of the village, now understanding Simi's true words, started to desire her intensely. They would gather in front of her house, waiting for their turn to be with her. Whenever they were in her presence, their manhood would return to its full strength, making them feel energetic and alive once more. The men refused to return home, captivated by Simi's newfound power and beauty. Night after night, they slept in Simi's room, leaving their wives to fend for themselves. The village women, frustrated and angry, would come to Simi's house, shouting and demanding that their husbands return home. "Simi, you have taken our husbands. How can you keep them from us?" they would cry. "Release them from your spell and let them return to their families." Simi would listen to their pleas with a calm demeanor. "I have not taken your husbands," she would reply. "They come to me of their own will. Perhaps now you understand the value of acceptance and respect." In the center of the village, Simi stood, radiating a new confidence. The villagers gathered around her, demanding answers. "What have you done, Simi?" they cried. "Why are our men afflicted?" Simi raised her hands from silence. "I have done nothing but accept a gift from a sorcerer, Abijawara," she said. "For years you have mocked and shamed me of my size. You made me feel less than human because I did not fit your narrow standards of beauty. Now you will understand the pain you caused me. You must learn to respect and appreciate all forms of beauty," she said. "You must teach your children to be kind and accepting of others, regardless of their appearance. Only then will the magic be lifted and your strength restored." The villagers were stunned. They had never considered the depth of the odds they had afflicted upon Simi. Their men are now weakened and vulnerable. Desperate to break the spell and get their husbands back, the women of the village decided to consult the oracle. They traveled to a distant shrine where the wise priest resided. The priest listened to their plight and, after much contemplation, provided them a solution. "To break the power that holds your husband, you must take an egg and break it in front of Simi," the priest instructed. "This act will shatter the magic and free your men." Hopeful and determined, the women returned to Oluyole with the priest's instructions. They gathered outside Simi's house, clutching eggs in their hands. With a mix of anger and desperation, they approached Simi. "Simi, we demand that you release our husbands," they shouted. "We have consulted the oracle and we have been told what to do." Without waiting for a response, the woman began breaking the eggs in front of Simi, believing that the magic would be shattered and their husbands will be freed. They watched anxiously, expecting the spell to break, but nothing happened. The men continued to stay at Simi's house, and their desire for her remained unchanged. The eggs lay broken on the ground, powerless to alter the enchantments that bound the men to Simi. Confusion and frustration filled the air. The women, realizing that the oracle's solution has failed, felt helpless and defeated. They turned to Simi once more, pleading with her to release their husbands. Not willing to give up, the women decided to seek help from the higher power. They traveled to the sacred river where the goddess Oshun resided. Known for her wisdom and benevolence, Oshun was the protector of women and the giver of life. The women approached the river bank, knelt down and called out to the goddess with fervent prayers. "Oshun, Great goddess of the river, hear our plea. Our husbands are under a spell, and we need your help to break it. Show us the way to restore balance to our village. As their voices echoed over the water, the river began to shimmer, and the goddess Oshun emerged from the depths. Her presence was majestic, her form radiant with divine light. The woman gazed at her in awe and reverence. Oshun, we have tried everything. The priest told us to break eggs in front of Simi, but it did not work, one of the women explained. Oshun listened with compassion and then spoke. The power of the sorcerer Abijawara is strong, but there is a way to counter it. Take water from my river, and when you see Simi, pour it upon her. This sacred water will cleanse the spell and restore your husband's manhood. Filled with hope, the woman gathered vessels and filled them with the river's water. They returned to the village, determined to follow Oshun's instructions. Outside Simi's house, they stood ready, holding the vessels of sacred water. When Simi appeared, the woman, with resolve and unity, approached her. Simi, we beg you once more to release our husbands, they said. If you will not do it willingly, we must take action. With that, they poured the sacred water from Oshun's river over Simi. The water sparkled as it touches her, and a powerful energy surged through the air. Simi gasped as the magic that had enveloped her began to dissolve. The men who had been under Simi's spell suddenly regained their senses. They felt their strength return, their manhood restored. As the enchantment broke, they looked around in bewilderment, realizing what had happened. Simi was so furious. Upon seeing how furious she is, the men fell on their knees in front of Simi. Simi, we are deeply sorry for all the pain we caused you, they said, their voices filled with genuine remorse. We see now the error of our ways and the hurtful impact of our actions. Please forgive us, and we promise to change. Tears welled up in Simi's eyes, not from sadness, from the overwhelming emotion of the moment. She saw the sincerity in their eyes and felt the weight of their apology. I forgive you, she said softly. May this be a lesson for all of us to treat each other with kindness and respect. The village of Oluyole was forever changed by this event. The men, having learned the value of empathy and acceptance, worked to create a more inclusive and supportive community. The women, grateful for the return of their husbands, also embraced a newfound appreciation for diversity and inner beauty. Simi continued to live in her village, but now she was no longer mocked or shamed. She was respected and admired for her strength, wisdom, and the beauty of her spirit. Her garden flourished more than ever, a symbol of the growth and harmony that has been restored to Oluyole. Simi became a legend in Oluyole, a story passed through generations as a reminder that every person is worth of respect and love, no matter their shape or size. The village flourished in harmony, and Simi's garden continued to bloom, and soon many men started coming to ask for her hand in marriage. Simi is a testament to the beauty that lies within. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and do share with your friends and families. I would love to know what are the lessons and the morals you learned from this story. Please drop it in the comment section. I will see you in my next story. Till then, bye for now.